Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Own Your Own Freedom. I am what you would call in this community a narcissistic abuse survivor, and I choose, as I hope you would choose with me, every day to own my past, seize my present, and heal for my future. This channel is for you, for healers, for empaths, for highly sensitive people, for codependents, for other survivors, for whatever your stage of self-realization is. And for anyone else who, like me, refuses to be held back by anyone else, by any collective thought, any ideology, any institution anymore. This video, it's another part to the series on the spiritual narcissist, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about my what I guess you can call him an ex-boyfriend. Really, it wasn't even really a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance, even though he proposed to me. It was a sham. It was all a fake. And I believe that. I don't know what was going on in his mind, but I believe that now that I'm out of it and looking back on it, I believe he was using me for status, using me to look better. Because, this person, think about it. If you are with someone who is wonderful, who is smarter than you, who has career opportunities, who comes from a well-to-do family. I'm not saying my parents are well-to-do, but they live very comfortably, and who is very talented, has lots of gifts, has a future, has a purpose. And if you don't feel you have any of those things, or even if you do, even if you don't in reality, and you get with someone who has all of these qualities, that is a leg up. That is a promotion in the eyes of other people, regardless of how we feel about it. That's just the way it is. And so I realized, being out of it, that that's what this was. So, everything about it was fake. So let me just go down the list. Really, the courtship was just him taking me out to dinner. I guess in the religious community or Christian community, we call dating a courtship, really, because it's not just loose. It's something that is aimed toward marriage. So he pursued me in a courtship, with the goal, which is, how I saw it, with the goal of marriage. And he talked about marriage even from the beginning, and his desire for to be married and have kids and everything. But the courtship was a sham. He was just taking me out to dinner and asking me not a bunch of questions, but he was, like all narcissists do, gathering information about me, trying to figure out, he would talk to other people about me, try to figure out who I am and how to portray himself to me. And so he put on this false image of someone who, because I feel that God is calling me to speak to people in a way of not just the gospel, but in the way of caring for them in a human way and not just in a religious way, and because I feel like we've sort of lost that way in the Christian community. And I moved to Europe not just for my own gain, but for the gospel. And that he knew that about me, even though he's from Europe. And that was something he put on. He put on an image that he was for the gospel. He wanted to be useful to God, and he would say things like that in our courtship. But it all turned out to be a lie. He said he wanted to move to, the Middle East and to share the gospel there. But, weeks after he proposed to me, he started to look for apartments, and he wanted to buy an apartment, meaning to spend the next 5 years paying it off. Meaning you'd have to stay in the apartment for 5 years. And I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be moving soon, which was what he said his goal was, to move within the next year, then you shouldn't be buying an apartment. So he not only was fake in the courtship, but the courtship was fake. And then also, his proposal was a sham. He didn't even ask to marry me. It was the question that he asked, which now that I look back, I should not have given him the benefit of the doubt. But he asked me, do you want to live with me? That was his question. And I asked him, I know you didn't just ask me if I wanted to live with you, as in move in. I know you mean, do you want to marry me? Isn't that correct? And he was like, oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Of course, I feel dumb now because he asked exactly what he wanted. He wanted me secretly to move in with him and to live with him and to do things for him and cater to him and all of his needs. But I refused that, and I said, I know you're talking about engagement, right? Because that's the whole point of this courtship, is not to move in with each other, and to live this secret, disgusting life. That's not what I want, and that's not the goal of this. Anyway, but he showed his true colors now that I look back on it. But all of that was fake. And even afterward, even throughout the whole thing, we would go out to dinner with this couple that just recently married, and we would talk to them about, marriage plans and, going to see his family, and in which his family lives in another country, and, all these different things, like going to, how the process goes for, an American marrying a French guy, like the whole thing. We were talking about it for weeks. He would ask me, when do you want to get married? And la la la. And then suddenly the whole thing changed. And he's sort of like, this is what narcissists do. They bail. They don't have no intention of actually going through with plans to commit unless they're for sure that you are a grade A supply that's also dumb. That's what they want. Who's also going to, submit to their every will and cater to their every need. But maybe it's because I put up a fight with him that he wasn't sure. He wanted to really be engaged with me, and he wanted me to work harder to prove myself to him. He sort of would, second guess. He would talk about, I don't know if you're reliable. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if this is going to work out. And I'm just like, okay, do you know what you want, the qualities you want for a wife? Okay, then figure that out and see if I qualify. If not, don't waste my time by saying let's be friends, because that's what he said eventually. Let's just be friends for now, and then we'll see, because he lied before that. There was a couple weeks after he proposed to me, we were engaged. No ring, by the way. He said that he had a conversation with some of the pastors in the church. He didn't say which ones, which means that he's lying. Now that I realize that's what narcissists do. They try to make it seem like you're on the outs, and they know something you don't know. So he was talking to all the pastors, apparently, and they told him he needs to wait another 12 months. Now, mind you, this whole courtship was like maybe 2 months long, maybe, before he proposed to me. But when you propose to someone, and he knows this, and anyone who lives in the West knows that whenever you propose to someone, you are ready, meaning you are ready to start planning. That means you're committed to that person. That doesn't mean, okay, let's wait another 12 months. But the whole thing is that, number one, he wanted to make me feel like, number one, I couldn't trust the pastors in the church, which I have a great relationship with them. They have taken care of me for a long time. Spiritually taking care of me. So I have no reason to distrust them, but this was the whole motive, for me to distrust them, number one, and number two, to delay anything and make me work harder, like I said, harder to gain his affection, and that would really lower my quality. If I were to try to pursue after him and make him think I'm a person of value, that means that he's the one that judges my value, and that makes him higher than me. And I didn't fall for that. I said, fine, you choose. Either you know what you want or you don't, because at the time I was in it. I didn't realize he was a narcissist. I didn't realize he was being covert. He was using me to, gain qualities of his own and look like he was a better person. So I was like, either you know what you want or you don't, because I'm moving on with my life. But eventually it was sort of like he just couldn't make up his mind, and he kept postponing, and he was like, why don't you give me more time? I need more time to think. I need more time. But he never gave me a timeline of when he'd be ready. He never gave me, an idea of, okay, well, by this time, well, let's do this. Let's do this to work toward, engagement. Let's do this to work toward marriage, to work on the relationship, to work on the things that were going wrong in between us. He never had any intention to do that because, as we all know, narcissists can't. They have no intention of stopping the drama or fixing the problems. They like the drama. They like the problems because they will never take responsibility. They will never apologize. So the next video, I'm going to talk about all the emails he sent me afterward. That was just a really brief, cover of what's been happening recently. But after I dropped contact with him and I blocked him from social media because he sort of was just going in this circle of like, I need more time. Why don't you give me more time? Why are you being this way to me? I was just like, you know what? You need God. You need to grow the hell up. And I'm really tired of dealing with you. But he kept sending me emails. And we sort of went back and forth a little bit after I blocked him on WhatsApp and Facebook and other things. And I will talk about a little further about all the crap and the lies he was saying. Oh my God, he stooped very low. So let me know what you think of this video, and leave a comment with the hashtag #OwnYourOwnFreedom and share your experience, because this stuff is real, bro. It's real. And of course, subscribe if you like my channel and you like this content, and I will see you on the next one.